Yep. Well, we don't know about any of that for sure. We can tell you this vehicle running red lights back and forth. It basically hasn't slowed down for any traffic, anything at any time. I'm going to keep an eye outside, not looking at the camera right now. Vinny's going to try to find him, and I've got an eye on him right now. Yeah, he's down in the shadows, and then there's going to be the LAPD ship, and there is the suspect once again. This has been one of the issues, even for the helicopter, for the PD helicopter, great shot, is one of those ones where this vehicle has been going underneath bridges, been in the LAX traffic area, so it's been making it very difficult for them to keep an eye on it. Also, that helicopter and us today, luckily, we can listen to where they're going, and if the vehicles on the ground will give out directions if the helicopter doesn't get an eye on him. There he is, just a little bit back. Let him come into your shot. There he is, right there. And so at any rate, this pursuit continues right now. The speeds have been pretty high, the danger level extremely high, as he's been running almost every traffic signal, and we'll keep an eye on it best we can. We heard that kidnapping part, but we also heard robbery, like you said. It looks like we're going to be going northbound through onto La Cienega right there. And again, this is an area right by LAX, making things a little bit difficult for Skyfox. But Vinny doing an awesome job on the camera today, and LAPD, they're going to have the same issues. The helicopter cannot follow, so the LAPD helicopter has to wait for a clearance, and maybe they'll be able to scoot through. But the ground crew, the ground units, the black and whites behind him, they don't have any problems with the LAX airspace. No, that was during the pursuit. At one point when we were making our way down here trying to find the location, we actually heard the LAPD airship say the vehicle has been involved in a collision. Basically, we heard it crash into a building. Now, when they say something like that, you get pictures of a very traumatic crash, but it seems like very minor damage to that car, so perhaps it was just some sort of minor. Look at that, there we go. There we go, that's going to bring it, and it didn't bring it to an end. Did not bring it to an end. That one vehicle right there is spinning out. So then this is what we don't want to ever see on any of these types of chases. That's just somebody just going about their business, driving along, and then this person is being chased by officers, cruise right through a red light, and doing it again right there. That's going to be the off-ramp for the 405. So this is the type of stuff that LAPD has to deal with, but the severity of the crime, meaning what this person is wanted for behind the wheel, that justifies the amount of force or the amount of aggressiveness they're going to try to get this person. Again, though, we saw that crash. You got to wonder, that car's got to have some front-end damage, and we've got to wonder how long that car is going to be able to drive. Now making a turn, looks like they're going to be back on the Arva Vita. This is where we picked it up earlier on when we basically when we just went live, but heading back into the Inglewood area right now. LAPD working with Inglewood Police and also Airport Police, LAX Airport Police, this afternoon, trying to subdue this suspect running from officers. Southbound. Two. It's coming towards us. Running out of road. There they are. Nope, he went. Yep. Well, we're working just to keep the shot open. I wish folks at home would realize we're basically over LAX about 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet, and we're shooting quite a distance. Vinny doing an amazing job this afternoon just to get these shots. I couldn't even imagine how far away it is. I cannot even see it with the naked eye out the window. You can see the number of LAPD officers chasing this vehicle. We did see that one collision right there. You've got to wonder how long that car can go. With that front collision, you'd think possibly radiator damage, something along those lines. Maybe that car will start overheating. Usually we see a lot of times those car will give up before the suspect, but even in this case, if that car gives up, that suspect's still armed. This is a very dangerous situation. LAPD, they're not going to come just approaching that vehicle. It's going to be a long, drawn-out, very methodical way that they're going to try to get that suspect into custody. And I can tell you, all those officers on heightened type of tension, just keeping an eye on what that suspect's going to be doing. Again, armed robbery, possibly kidnapping, and we've seen many attempts. We saw that one accident. This person puzzle that we don't even know, but the pursuit continuing. You can see it. He's back on Arva Vita, heading back towards us. That's a relief, but we're not going to move until we know that he's farther out of the LAX airspace. Again, though, LAPD, their helicopters dealing with the same type of situation. They might have it a little better than us in the media, but they also have to deal with airspace and control out here. Look, there we go. This is what we saw earlier on. Somebody making contact with that suspect. You know, one of those officers is going to try to, the third one, basically pulling over. That person probably going to go into custody. That doesn't necessarily mean arrested, but there's something going on there. And of course, officers want to know what was handed off, why that person made an interaction, and maybe might even be able to get some going the wrong against traffic right now. Another red light. This is the type of stuff we definitely don't want to see in any type of pursuit. Yeah, backtracking, we're basically heading back the same direction where we lost, where he was in earlier on when he was getting farther away from us, now getting a little bit closer, but nevertheless still quite a distance away. Again, LAPD doing an amazing job on the ground. Their helicopters basically dealing with kind of the same thing the media is, but those ground units right now, today, they're the ones. They're the boots on the ground, as it would be, really are the ones that are going out the streets out here, giving locations, and also getting other officers in the area. Another solid red. Look at this. At least he's blending in. Now he's heading down back towards LAX. LAPD's already been talking to the the Los Angeles International Airport Police Department. They have their own police department, so they have been made aware of this, and believe me, they will get involved if they have to, and especially if this vehicle makes its way onto airport property, which definitely looks like it's making that effort. Another solid red right there, swerving around, and he's making his way closer and closer down Century Boulevard, heading towards the terminals at LAX. Oh no! He's heading. He's coming to LAX. He's coming closer and closer to Skyfox right now. Running into, looks like what was another. That might have been a green light right there. But definitely, you can see those speeds a little higher than he should be. Century Boulevard seems to be pretty open this afternoon, but he's making his way towards LAX. And LAX Airport Police, they have been made aware. There's a lot of parking garages out here, so they know that this guy is coming. And they've already set up a plan if he gets onto the airport to take this guy into custody any way they have to. Well, maybe originally. Yep. All that. All that traffic. Gang units might have been the original ones that tried to stop this thing. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue here. The gang units might have been the ones that tried to stop it originally, but I can tell you those are just Southwest units that are in pursuit. There might be a gang unit tagging along behind. I can tell you some good news. This is one of those little side streets that takes you around the airport. So it looks like we are not getting onto the LAX property, and you can see it right there. Northbound turn. We're going to be heading up Sepulveda right now, taking us into the Westchester neighborhoods. But again, LAPD right behind them, and of course that airship probably going to be making its way back over here. We'll probably have some coverage from that from the police helicopter as well. But those ground units today, those are the ones. Those are the staple. They're the ones that are really staying behind it. And this driver driving recklessly, a little bit of a swerve there. A lot of traffic on Sepulveda. I'm looking out the window, northbound lanes. Maybe a little bit less traffic than the southbound, but still, you can see he's going to be getting into some traffic here. Hopefully he doesn't get blocked in, because this driver has been very desperate. We don't want to see him try to push other people out of the way, create more damage, and hopefully not hurt anybody this afternoon. Well, we'll go. Back onto Manchester. Where's he going? Is it? La Tierra. Making his way back towards Sepulveda. Making his way back to Sepulveda. There we go. Yep. Well, this vehicle basically made a big loop right there, made its way back onto Sepulveda, or one of the little offshoots of Sepulveda, and like you said, on Westchester. So he is relatively close to the airport once again. The speed's kind of slowed down, and it makes you wonder, though, if that's the vehicle or the driver. I'm kind of hoping it is the vehicle, because I really would like to see that car just kind of poop out, just stop, as it would be, and then have let the officers take that suspect into custody, do what they need to do. But right now the vehicle continues to move. Traffic very, very light. This person's been very lucky with that. Run through another. That was a solid green out there, but you can see that car really starting to slow down right now. I don't know if this is maybe he's trying to make a decision on where to go, or maybe coming up with a plan, or maybe the car is really starting to slow down. LAPD, they are in pursuit. Like you said, gang units might have been the ones that originally initiated this pursuit, but those cars that we see right there, those are just your standard black and whites. Those are the officers, the patrol officers that we see pretty much everywhere on the streets. There we go again through another major out there. It looked like almost a close call, but this vehicle just continues to move out here, and now we're in the construction areas. Always got to, they always say slow for the cone. You see those guys in their orange vests. Luckily, this vehicle not moving at 80 or 50 to 80 miles an hour. Now just kind of, well, the speedometer's broke, but at any rate, moving about 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. So you just got to wonder, is it the car or the driver, and where's this going to end? Vida. Arva Vida. Arva Vida. Yep. Ooh. Yep. And going against traffic, and this is what I'm talking about. I was worried about this, and just kind of squeaking through there. Yeah, and you know, you just don't want to see any damage to anybody's cars. That guy getting out of the way there, LAPD is going to basically have to catch up with him. But that car not moving, this is one of those spots where you think he'd really try to open it up, get that distance between him and those officers. That car might only be able to go that fast right now. Don't know what kind of damage it had. That was a pretty solid hit that we saw earlier on. It looks like he just avoided another collision right there, and that car looks like up. Pan up. No, you. Okay, sorry about that. There we go, making that turn. So he was in a parking lot earlier on. He was actually driving in a parking lot at a Costco, and officers were extremely worried about that situation. So with him driving into parking lots, that doesn't seem to be something that's not something that this person won't do. The reason why they were so concerned, you've got a lot of pedestrians out there, you've got a lot of people parking, backing out, again, and also a lot of activity. Right now, though, the pursuit definitely continuing out here. He gave me the slip, and now you're starting to see some smoke coming out of the car, so you really got to think that car probably has some kind of damage from that front-end collision. Hopefully, he doesn't crash again before this thing comes to an end. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that was the front wheel spinning out, or from maybe he was hitting it too hard around the corner. Those Malibus, great cars, but definitely front wheel drive. So maybe that's what we saw right there. Definitely saw some smoke though coming out the back earlier on. But the speed's definitely picking up now. Back onto Manchester and Major Street out here, Inglewood area, takes you all the way through South LA. But we'll keep an eye on it best we can. If we have to move, we definitely will. You see some Inglewood officers down there. This just also shows you that the other departments know what's going on. They can monitor the same things. They can hear those officers from LAPD. They're getting those street names, and they're making themselves conveniently available, meaning they're just kind of in the area. If this thing does come to an end, they'll have extra officers there to help subdue the suspect. This is probably the longest we've seen this car driving basically eastbound now on Manchester, just kind of going farther and farther away from us. We'll keep an eye on it the best we can. If we have to move, we'll make those moves. But right now, that vehicle just doing a solid eastbound on Manchester. This will take you all the way past the 110 freeway. So this, he could stay, if he stays on this road, it could go for quite a while. Yeah. Yep. Well, definitely, and I just heard the words Prairie, so I'm wondering if he just went through Prairie, or he's going to be southbound. No, he went through Prairie. So this guy's getting a little bit farther and farther away from us. We can talk about the pursuit tactics, end of pursuit tactics, but I think we should be talking about if we should be moving Skyfox as this vehicle is getting farther and farther away from us. I said that. Adam's listening to me, and I guess he is making plans as we speak. So we're going to figure out how we're going to get behind this pursuit once again, as he's definitely making his way out of the LAX area, basically heading back towards the South Los Angeles area. And this is going to be a tough job for Vinny there. Hopefully he don't nose it over too far and we lose him and we have some trees. But definitely this pursuit continues. How are they going to handle it when it comes to an end? Well, you know, those guys are professionals. We are just the folks that watch, and we've seen a lot of these come to an end in the past. But basically, it's, you know, time is on the officer's side. That is a definite. So if that vehicle becomes disabled and that suspect doesn't want to get out of the car, that just gives the officers more time to get other equipment, maybe armored vehicles, other things like that, dogs, etc., into place, and they can make a better type of plan. but other than that, that if he gets out and he has that weapon, if he we're going to show some video. Go ahead. Sorry about that, Marla. We actually can see it right now. We're making our way back over that way. We'll have eyes on it here in just a second or two. But yeah, the pursuit continues. Wrong side of the road now. On Florence near 76th Street. So he's back on a major. That's for sure. And again, this is going to be one of those situations where driving on the wrong side of the road, extremely dangerous, but apparently the speeds have really slowed down. And again, that's going to be one of those things where I'm thinking that that's the vehicle, not that driver. And I've got to work with Vinny, and I got to get eyes on it, and we're going to find it here in just a second. We got some officers getting that way right there, making a turn. Where's the airship? Okay. All right. Okay. He's on the, yeah, you got him. We're still looking. He's on Florence somewhere. We're still trying to get an exact location, but we're still working to see if we can find it. There he is, right there. So going through another stale red. Same puffs of smoke coming out of the vehicle, and basically making our way back over to the LAX area right now. We're continuing westbound on Florence Boulevard. So basically we're still getting back into the Inglewood area. And again, this pursuit just continues. At one point, apparently, it was on the wrong side of the road, but the speed's about 50 miles an hour for the most part. And traffic extremely light. This is really amazing. And again, this is one of those situations where they're not going to use the pit maneuver. They're not going to try to spin this car around. There's an armed suspect, so they don't want to have that situation where officers are faced with an armed suspect. Going into the cone zone there, we got a pedestrian that's kind of shocked by what's going on. I'm positive that what we're seeing right there is just smoke from that front wheel. He's probably hammering it every time and spinning it out. But the pursuit continuing out here. And apparently the wheel just came off. That's what I'm hearing from Vinny. So we're going to keep an eye on it, or part of the tire. So definitely had a flat tire. Don't know if that's from a spike strip or possibly from the accident or damage. But definitely continuing on, or trying to continue on. This is going to be one of those situations. This driver, this suspect, extremely, he wants to get away at any cost. This is going to make it a very difficult ending for sure. You can see how this suspect doesn't want to be taken into custody at any cost, and just makes you kind of think what these officers are going to be up against when this thing comes to an end. Definitely in the Inglewood area, back into Inglewood, and you can see it is very residential down there. And of course, the officers from LAPD, they're right behind it. I don't know, there's some other law enforcement right there, kind of wondering if they're there to assist or just happen to be in the area, going through a major right there. That was back over, it was Manchester that we just went through. And so you can see that this guy's still driving extremely fast down there, or faster than he should be. That vehicle clearly heavily impaired, and LAPD right behind him right now this afternoon as this pursuit continues through the Inglewood streets. Armed suspect, possibly kidnapping, definitely robbery. And as you said, gang units were following this at the suspect at one point, tried to pull him over, and that's when this pursuit started. Oh, okay. All right. It was a cone. Right. Yeah. Man. Arba Vita, back on Arba Vita. You know, you just can't thank a lot of the internet folks enough that follow us, watching. Hopefully, I know they're watching television and possibly have their Facebook open so that they can give us information and pass along what they seem to know about what's going on here. You can't get enough of that, I can guarantee you. Right now, you can see that we're still back on Arba Vita. That car seems to be pretty solid, and I think one of our producers was actually telling me as well that that was a cone. You have to understand right now the sun is coming down. We got a lot of glare inside the helicopter. It's hard to see these monitors, and I can tell you I cannot see this pursuit out the window at all. So basically everything that we're seeing right now is being brought to us by Vinny Mac in the back there on the camera, and just kind of keeping an eye on where this pursuit is, where it's going. But it does look like it's making its way southbound now away from us, and as we're sitting here at the edge of the LAX airspace waiting to see if we can get cleared in, but I don't think they're going to allow it because of the number of aircraft that are taking off and landing this afternoon. LAX very busy, and of course those commercial jets get the priority for safety. Making his way, looks like we're heading a little bit eastbound, now back southbound again, definitely in a very residential neighborhood. You got to wonder though if this suspect, even though the plates are out of state, maybe knows this area. It seems to be very, very close to staying inside this area right here. Oh, there you go. Yep, West 99th Street, and basically Redfern, I looked like turned into that street. So there's Redfern once again. So basically, and he's slowing down. This could possibly be the plan for that suspect. Make his way over to where family members are. Feels a little bit safer. Might feel like he has some family at least there when he's taken into custody. Don't know. Can't say until we see this thing come to an end. But definitely slowing down, West 99th Street near Redfern, and it looks like he's almost looking for a place to pull over. And there you go, the vehicle definitely stopped. And we'll keep an eye on it the best we can. This is the best shot we can get this afternoon. We're quite a distance away. Yeah, got close to 8 or 9 miles away from our helicopter. So, and this is one of the reasons, again, is because of the LAX airspace. We can't get in there. We can't get any closer. But the vehicle clearly has stopped. LAPD out there. We can't see them because of the trees, but I can guarantee you they're probably out of their vehicles, guns drawn, and giving some sort of commands to that driver. And I don't see any family members yet, but that doesn't mean that they're not standing on the sidewalk or nearby that vehicle. Right. No, definitely, and you saw how desperate this suspect was to get away from officers for most of this pursuit. A couple of collisions, running a lot of red lights, damage to the vehicle, still continuing on, wrong side of the road, high speeds, slow speeds, but definitely trying to get away from officers the entire time, desperately. So you've got to wonder what this suspect, what other things the suspect may have done, or what other things he might have that legal infraction. So right now the officers, it's like I said, as long as that vehicle is kind of sitting there, it's going to be a wait game. But the fact that that car drove to this location and stopped, that always means that that car could drive away. So officers right now, it is still a waiting game, but it's a waiting game to see if that suspect gives up or decides to drive on. No. Yeah, no, Marla, they definitely wouldn't try to box this suspect in. He's an armed suspect. That's one of the reasons why they wouldn't pit him. You know, this guy has a weapon, so they're not going to do anything where they're going to box this person in or make it. The officers call that line of fire. You don't want to be in the line of fire. You don't want to be in a place where that suspect can shoot at you. So basically, right now they're all behind him, and I can tell you that most of those officers, even though we can't see them, they all have their weapons drawn, and it is a little bit of a waiting game. I don't see any other movement in the area, so I can't say if this is the family home, if there are family members nearby, and even if they are, it would be difficult. It would be a difficult call. This is one of the reasons why I sit in a helicopter and talk about it, and I'm not on the ground in a uniform. How are they going to handle that? You know, if a family member wants to go up and talk to this armed suspect, you can't allow that. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where it's going to go. And so it is a difficult situation for sure for those officers. Right now, though, it's a waiting game. We'll see if that car keeps moving, if that suspect just complies. Definitely, yeah, definitely two accidents. That one involving that driver just going through the intersection and that suspect T-boning a vehicle and spinning them out. Hope that they are okay for sure. Right now, though, again, this is an Inglewood neighborhood. We see the West 99th Street. We also know it's near Redfern, is probably the cross street out here. LAPD, they are behind it, and yes, they are working to maybe try to do something to disable that vehicle if that vehicle decides to drive off. These streets very narrow. They could put spike strips out. They could They could do a lot of things like that. We don't have any kind of solid confirmation, but that might be something that LAPD might be doing to, in case this vehicle starts to drive off again, at least they can take out a couple of the tires, maybe disabling that vehicle and bringing this to an end somewhere close by. Right now, though, wait and see. That seems to be the name of the game. Like you said, we didn't have that information, but a family member, possibly the sister, lives out in this area. We haven't seen anybody approach that vehicle, but it's like I said earlier, I don't think LAPD would allow anybody to approach that vehicle. This is an armed suspect. You don't know if their intention is to say hello to the sister or to cause harm to the sister. You just don't know. And at this point, it would be putting somebody's life in danger. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call indeed for the LAPD officers on the ground down there. Very much a standoff. Vinny's pointed it out. It looks like the windshield wipers are on the car. At first, I thought it was, I thought maybe it was just the wind or shadows, but it definitely looks like the wipers are on. I wonder, maybe the car did just kind of give out, and this is the spot where it stopped. And if that's the case, then like I said earlier, this is a big plus for LAPD. They are going to be able to get their ducks in a row. They're going to be able to make plans. They're going to be able to put their officers in positions where they'll be able to take this person into custody if it need be. But right now, basically a standoff in a neighborhood out here in Inglewood. Crazy pursuit. Now it turned into a wait and see type of game. It could be. It could be indeed. And, you know, the word standoff, this is one of those deals, basically non-compliant. How do you want to word it? If this isn't a standoff, what else could you possibly call it? This suspect being very defiant, not getting out of the vehicle. So and officers from LAPD, they're putting plans into action if that vehicle starts moving again. So, but right now it's a suspect in a vehicle that's refusing to get out, and officers are waiting for him to get out or giving him directions to. I would call that a standoff. But at any rate, this is happening out here in the Inglewood area. That suspect's vehicle, we're seeing it at quite a distance. It's probably about 7 miles away from our helicopter, and the reason being, for anybody that's just tuning in, is that they are very much entrenched into the LAX airspace, and we are not allowed to get any closer because of the jets taking off and landing at LAX. The officers from LAPD, if they're off to the right, there's some trees right there, but there's a number of officers right there, and then there are other black and white vehicles, LAPD officers nearby, and of course Inglewood PD made aware of this situation as well. It is a very residential neighborhood for sure. We haven't seen anybody come out of any of the houses or try to make any kind of approach to that vehicle. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but we just haven't been able to see it because of the distance and the trees and our angle from the helicopter this afternoon. Good. True. Thank you. Thank you. So are we bailing? Yeah, they are. I saw the Coca-Cola ship. Copy, thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, are we staying or is our CBS buddies got us? Oh, I'm sorry, I got the desk off. Our CBS buddies are here. Are we handing it off? Okay. I want to speak to a manager. My fries are cold. We're waiting. They're trying to get a manager to make a decision down there. Stellar. Stellar. All right, they just brought that to an end. Copy all, thank you. Back to base. Bye, guys. Oh, look, 7's arriving. Really? Way out there?